Welcome to Cyber Inspiration Podcast. My name is Evgeniy. I have been around cybersecurity for the last 20 years and I have a lot of experience working with a variety of cybersecurity vendors. My main work is vendor consulting and cybersecurity advisory for companies. As part of my passion in technology and cyber, I've been intrigued to learn how a company starts. I started the podcast to understand the thinking process and what motivated people to start their own company. This podcast is affiliated with Security Architecture Podcast. I have a pleasure today to talk to Saryu from Gurucul about your journey, the company journey. Can you please tell me about yourself and what the company does?
Yeah, absolutely. Gurucul is a unified data and security analytics company. We're headquartered in California, been around for a little over 14 years now, and living the dream, helping many companies globally solve data and security problems, really bringing all of the data together using machine learning and now a big focus on AI as well to find unknown threats, known threats, find them fast and help them remediate real fast with AI automation and empowering humans to do even better with the limited time they have.
I had personal experience working with the platform probably about 7 or 8 years ago. I was very impressed as a practitioner as well. So thank you for continuing doing this. But I want to go back probably 15 years ago. What was the motivation? What happened in your life? That was the aha moment. I want to start this company.
Yeah, this is my passion. Absolutely love it. Been part of the cyberspace since my first job in college. So it's been 25 plus years now being in the cyberspace. So very passionate about solving real problems, starting from a practitioner to building companies that can solve real problems has been the focus. And about 14, 15 years ago, had exited another company that we sold to Sun and Oracle, and then was at Oracle for a couple of years and worked on where met lots of CISOs in the journey to understand what are some problems they're trying to solve. And I would say almost everybody said that we don't need yet another product. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough budget, and we don't have enough time to go learn another new thing. We want a bigger brain. Somebody said, sorry, you go think about a bigger brain that can take all of this data together, and that's petabytes of data, and can run intelligence on it and give us actionable results. That's what we really need. And that's how the journey started after meeting, I think, about 200 plus CISOs in my role in Oracle. Learned that this was a problem and started thinking about how we solve it there. And then once I was done there, we started building a product to solve that.
You kind of validated the idea while still in Oracle. And I'm wondering when you start building the company, did you want to raise money or you will start creating the solution?
Yeah. Yeah. For see, the idea thoughts came around when I was talking to many CISOs in that role, which was around identity security role. And then after leaving Oracle, the idea was to really take a bigger leap and go solve a big problem centered around identity and big data and analytics, right? So that's how it came around. And that's how we kind of started it off. And from there it's been an amazing journey.
Great. I always like to talk about the people because you have an idea. Someone need to create it, someone need to write it. Tell me a bit about the hiring process and what actually happened. What kind of people you were looking to hire? What is the qualities you need to do? How did you build the culture?
Mhm. People, I think, is the single most important asset a company has, and that is what makes or breaks it. And I would say in our company, we give all the credit back to our team. In fact, the name Gurukul, very hard for people to say, really means a group of experts, right? And that's why we really named it after the team, because after exiting a company before, we wanted to all come together and realize that the team is the one who did a ton of hard work. Founders obviously work hard and they need to get along and all that good stuff, but it's the entire founding team and the leaders and everybody that plays a critical role in a company that has to really make it big. If the customer success team is not doing well, we're not going to be successful. If support wasn't doing an amazing job, we won't be successful. Of course, product and pre-sales plays a very critical role, and the operation. So yes, team's super important. Our culture here is very open, very transparent, ethics, customer obsession, and disruptive innovation. That's what we focus on.
If you would hire me, hypothetically, What would the question you will ask me to understand that I am a good fit for the company?
I think it's about aptitude. It's about first of all understanding, like really being passionate about the mission we are on, right? Because that passion's super important. Skills can come, but that passion and believing in the bigger mission's important. And the willingness to work in a culture which is a super hardworking culture and very open and really again obsessing on customers is what's important. So that's how we look for people and look for a culture match.
I may go a bit tiny deeper because
Hmm.
soft skills is very important, as Sam was saying, and I agree with you.
Hmm.
What is the questions or what is the type of questions you would ask? And maybe help other leaders, other people that are in the industry in general as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, some of the things from a softer skills perspective, softer skills a big term, right? And different people in the company play a different role. And there's, some really need to have soft skills if you are front facing, meaning sales and customer success and support. You gotta be very good with soft skills. There are also engineers, technical people, not saying their soft skills are not important, but it just depends on the role you're playing as well. Because if you are in a different kind of role, your technical skills are also equally important as your soft skills. Now, in the soft skill world, I would take it one step bigger and say understanding the value of relationships is the core to our company. I have been talking about customer obsession, and I think that's very, very important to understand. When we think as a company, think about a very important internal value system is relationships. Our founding teams been together since inception, and it's a journey. It's been a roller coaster, and we are able to using soft skills, using focus on relationships, as well as keeping the focus on the bigger mission. We are able to, I would say, solve any difficult problems that we've had in the journey. Same goes for everybody. If you don't have the right soft skills, even explaining a thing to a customer becomes very hard. And analysts that we work a lot with and the security teams, they are under tremendous pressure to really safeguard their companies, and a person with the right skills can even conveying the same technical information can do a much better job. So that's super important. You did ask a question before on funding. I didn't answer that. And I wanted to say that when we started the company, from the previous exit, we had made some good money, which we used in the company as angel investors or as founder investment in the company, and pretty much bootstrapped it from there. So it's been a bootstrap journey. So working super hard with limited resources for a lot of years, and now a leader in Gartner Magic Quadrant from a vision perspective, on the cusp of being a leader on execution as well. So take a lot of pride in that journey. There's a lot of gray hair. It's just colored. It's definitely been a big journey from that perspective. But yes, we did not go raise any external capital. We took the money that we made in the previous exit, as well as, from there, kind of bootstrapped it.
And kudos for this. I know it's not easy. I worked for a VAR for a very long time. It was also bootstrap for a person that each decision you make in, you need to calculate where to spend your money and where you spend your time. And it's probably leading to my next question. So thank you for this. Task management and priorities in general. When you have so much to do, how do you decide? How do you manage all this gazillions of information and prioritize them?
I think you said the word, right? The magic is in prioritization. That's the magic. Because if we're able to prioritize it right, then that's how, we get through it. That's how I get through my day every day, right? You start your day, this is a priority, and you look through everything. And yes, not everything is going to get done. Everything you want to get done is not going to get done today, but what is absolutely critical, you kind of prioritize it from there. And that's how we do it. We have some daily stand-ups, several daily stand-ups in our company for different groups. So we use their time wisely, and in many situations together prioritize as well, think about it from different perspectives and say, yep, these five things are absolute top priority for today. So we do that as a team.
You, you mentioned there was a big pivot in the beginning, and I'm wondering when it happened that you understood you're on the right path. This could be a big customer, this could be a big win or feedback from the customer. You don't have to name the customer, but I guess just the event itself.
As they say, product market fit is the most important thing, and I will be candid saying we didn't get there right away. It took us some time to get there, and we didn't even get there with our first few customers. When we went to our first couple of customers, we were building something that they needed. It was very special. We spent a lot of time doing that, but it was very custom to their needs. When we started putting in more go to market focus on that and going to even more customers and taking the solution and messaging, it wasn't sticking as much. So we had to go through couple three rounds to get to the product market fit. But when we got there, I think we've stuck to it. It went back to what we started the company for. So, it kept us grounded and we have been continuing on that mission. But those early customers, very exciting, very large customers, took care of us from financial perspective as well. But really, we didn't get to the product market fit very quickly there.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's a founder, and he kind of was talking what's important. He told me, Evgeny, in the end of the day, money, sales fix majority of the problems. And where I'm going with this is you're founding a company, so everybody's in sales. Doesn't matter who you're pitching, but there's going to be a point when you big enough that you understand you need to hire people. I want to learn, like, how's this to teach someone to sell your baby? We can say this, but they're going to have a different way of skills. They've got a different way to sell this. How you let go? How you let somebody else take care of this, and you fix the different problems?
First, a lot of people have asked me, is it easy to let go? I think for me, it wasn't that hard to let go. It's not about letting go because it's about seeing the growth and seeing the growth together. And I would say we got lucky with some really good hires, good leadership team on the go-to-market as well, who really is very passionate and got the messaging, right? And they get it. They're researching, like we're researching. We're all talking very often on where is the roadmap, where are we taking it. So it's a bunch of very passionate people committed to the mission and solving the problem. So it was easier to hand it over. And I wouldn't say like we don't work together on these things. We talk very often and collaborate on all of these things, but using the help of the right team to build a system to grow the company was critical. It didn't happen easy. It wasn't the first hires weren't the right hires, but when we got to the right team, we knew this was the right team and we pressed it from there. And there is no other way of doing it. And everybody gets so busy that you cannot be on sales calls. I don't remember last time I was on a sales call. I would go in to talk about our vision and what have you, but not on a first sales call or what have you. So much needed, and it's about accepting it that it's the right thing to do, and yes, of course, giving up as well, but giving up for the right thing. And you see it that you've given it in the right hands and it's helping the company grow.
You can go back to the beginning. Would you do anything differently with the company?
I don't, I told you we're living a dream right now, right? We worked very hard for a very long time to get to the market we are in right now, which is this unified data and security analytics market with our next gen SIM, UEBA that we pioneered, ITDR that we've been working on for 2 decades, in the deep roots in identity. So it's living the dream. Yes, there are several things we could have done differently, but hindsight's 2020 always, and there are lots of lessons learned. The first few customers we went to, where we poured everything we had, could we have done it differently? Could we have said no in some situations as well? And it was very hard for us to say no to customers, and we didn't. So there are some lessons learned, but again, hindsight's 2020. Very, very happy with what we did, and very happy with where we are right now as well. And lots to do ahead.
If you can give advice to yourself when you open the business, you personally, would you do anything differently?
Many things differently. I have a lot more constructive criticism on my own execution and for the right reasons, reaching out for help more, building a bigger ecosystem, having the heart align with the mind to say no sometimes, right? To initial very large customers. We work with government as well, and some massive projects we do with the government. So it's just, again, it's being committed to that mission and being able to say no. We hired fast. I've not been very good at firing fast. Again, keeping the heart out of it. So still learning that. I won't say I've mastered that skill at all. I have a very hard time with that. So we do good due diligence onboarding people because it's hard for us to let go.
Yeah. If you had a crystal ball, would you recommend something to yourself in 5 years? It's going to be a bit of magic.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think whatever I know, we're executing to that for sure. We always set aside time, especially on planes, flying a lot nowadays. Sit there and think about out of the day-to-day execution, what else needs to happen? What does it mean? I feel like we spend a lot of time as a team and me personally as well, our CTO and co-founder Nilesh, we spend a lot of time introspecting on where our market's going and what do we need to do from our platform perspective to stay ahead. We do think 5 year, 3 to 5 years ahead. Business planning, also we do 3 to 5 years ahead. Again, with the size of company we are, can we always stay ahead? Are we always perfect? Nowhere close, but that's what we have been doing as a practice. And if you think about it, that's a great question you asked, especially from a technology perspective. We got into the SIM market, which is kind of commodity market in some ways, but we've been able to bring in so much innovation to a market that was stagnant. And with all the new technology that we're pioneering, again, it's the ability to see ahead and say, this is where it's going, and we want to build a solution for that. An example being our data optimizer capability, which helps cut down the cost by 40 to 87% on the data cost. And that's a problem that pretty much every organization's talked about. Nobody has enough budget as well. Of course, not enough resources and too many alerts, but not enough budget as well. So very excited about that innovation. And I would say we are the only company right now that's natively brought in the capability to use agentic AI to optimize data. Again, looking 5 years ahead and seeing how to really solve the problem is a big focus for us.
I think scaling is important. As you mentioned, you as a company, you want to scale, but you want to scale not in the ways you need to pay gazillions of dollars to AWS, Azure, and GCP.
That's a very pain point question as well. Yes, we want to scale. See, when you think of scaling in many ways, you think about spending every marketing person we bring on board says, hey, we need to spend more on branding, right? People don't know about us enough. We've been around for so many years. And an example being, and it's true, this was our 14th year being at RSA conference, and somebody comes and says, hey, we haven't heard about you guys before, right? So these things do happen, but we think that being more focused on the ICP is very important, right? Tailoring it to our ideal customer profile and not just spending money for the heck of it on these branding activities is important, and being very focused on even technology from that perspective. We do spend a lot of money on research and development. We have large data science team, large threat research team as well. Again, keeping very focused to the problem we're solving.
Happy being on my podcast, so appreciate this part. I do want to close with a bit different question. We
Sure.
talked a lot about burnout. We talk a lot
Mhm.
about the work-life balance. What's your approach?
Work-life balance, I know a lot of people talk about it. It doesn't hit me. I don't think about it. This is my life, right? It's just about how you use the time wisely. I think about these are the number of hours we have every day, and think about it as a 7 day week. Don't think about it as a weekend or a weekday, and just manage time wisely. There are times in a work day where you got to focus on something that's not work related for 30 minutes and get that done, so you can spend several hours on a weekend doing something more important, strategic overall. That's just how I balance it. And this is my passion as well, so it's a big part of hobby. Reading about it, learning about it, thinking about it is a hobby as well. So I don't think about it as work.
Is anything you do to yourself to kind of get the energy back to recharge? Meditation, running, swimming, whatever it is that works for you.
Definitely starting to spend time going for long walks and workout. Was missing some of that with the travel. So excited that I'm back on that track, which is really good. Love listening to music. So do that. And on weekends, at least one night, love cooking as well for the family and friends. So do that. So that's fun for me and very relaxing as well.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed the conversation and hope we can talk more and deep dive into this technology as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you and love the questions.
Thank you.